What happens when the biggest pop star on the planet and a three-time Super Bowl champion decide to treat their rehearsal dinner like a private, stadium-status stadium rock concert? If you happen to be one of the incredibly select few inside Madison Square Garden on the evening of Thursday, July 2nd, you witnessed something that sounds entirely like a fever dream fan fiction, but was in reality the opening act of America's closest equivalent to a royal wedding. New details emerging from the intensely locked-down nuptials of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have revealed that before they officially exchanged their 20-minute, tear-filled vows, the couple took over the stage at their rehearsal dinner to belt out a high-energy rock duet for their inner circle. While the public spent the entire holiday weekend tracking tinted window SUVs, gazing at the Empire State Building glowing blue, and analyzing the massive just anti-married jumbotrons outside the venue, the most human, unpolished moment of the entire multi-million-dollar production was happening completely behind closed doors, away from the stadium microphones and the global spotlight. This unexpected rock performance has sent shockwaves through pop culture commentary over the last 72 hours, shifting the conversation from a clinical breakdown of a massive public relations triumph to a deeper look into how two cultural titans managed to perform intimacy inside a cordoned-off sports arena. The logistical scale of this entire wedding weekend is honestly dizzying, transforming New York City's most famous basketball and hockey arena into an ultra-exclusive, top-secret forest. Industry planners estimate that the total cost of pulling off this Herculean design task ranged anywhere from $25 to $100 million, utilizing heavy drapes, intricate lighting, and massive video mapping to completely erase any visual trace of the sports arena. Guests walking in were guided through an elaborate archival tunnel lined with personal photographs charting Taylor and Travis's lives from childhood to their high-profile romance, eventually emptying out into a custom-built, secret garden filled with actual trees and ferns. It was in this hyper-curated, highly romanticized environment that the couple chose to subvert everyone's expectations. While standard celebrity protocol would dictate a formal, elegant dinner with soft orchestral music, which they did have during the ceremony, the rehearsal dinner saw the bride and groom grab microphones to scream out their favorite rock anthem together. Because phones were strictly banned at the door and guests signed ironclad confidentiality agreements, no video of the performance has leaked to the public, forcing the internet to rely entirely on the vivid descriptions shared by attendees who described the moment as pure, unadulterated fun that perfectly mirrored the loud, chaotic energy of their early public dating era. The digital response to this revelation was immediate, fracturing the internet into a hyper-analyzed debate over what this rock duet represents. On platforms like TikTok and X, the dedicated fanbase has spent the last few days in a state of absolute euphoria, treating the lack of footage not as a disappointment, but as proof of the couple's ultimate authenticity. Commenters are obsessing over the fact that Taylor, who has spent the last few years performing the most commercially successful stadium tour in human history, chose not to sing a single note at her actual wedding reception, reserving her musical energy strictly for a loud, private rock song with her husband the night before. To her supporters, this detail validates the entire relationship, serving as a symbolic middle finger to critics who have long claimed their pairing was a calculated corporate merger between the NFL and the music industry. Viral text posts and fan edits are praising Travis for matching her performative theatricality, arguing that only a guy comfortable singing rock music in front of a stadium full of Hollywood elites and professional athletes could truly understand the gravity of being married to Taylor Swift. However, outside of the immediate fan community, a much more skeptical and analytical conversation has taken place. Cultural critics and media commentators have pointed out the inherent paradox of holding an intimate, private family moment inside a venue that literally holds 20,000 people. On various social media forums, users are breaking down how the entire event, including the leaked details of the rehearsal dinner duet, functions as a masterclass in high-level brand management. The public didn't need a live stream to feel the cultural weight of the event. The massive billboards outside Madison Square Garden flashing their wedding monogram and the deliberate leaks about who cried during the vows ensure that the wedding remained a dominant public spectacle. Critics are arguing that every piece of information trickling out, from the Christian Dior haute couture outfits down to the specific rock duet, is meticulously designed to curate a specific narrative of relatable luxury. It is a highly sophisticated form of modern storytelling where the absence of direct footage actually increases the public's hunger for details, turning a private marriage into a historic, generation-defining piece of content. When you look closely at why this specific detail about the rock duet caught fire, it speaks volumes about the current state of influencer and celebrity culture. We live in an era where the public is deeply cynical about celebrity relationships, constantly looking for cracks in the facade or signs of artificial PR engineering. A rock duet is, by its very nature, unpolished, loud, and slightly ridiculous, especially when executed by an NFL tight end and a pop icon. By letting this specific detail slip through the security net, the couple effectively humanize themselves in a way that a polished, pre-approved wedding photograph never could. It acts as a perfect cultural bridge between their two wildly different worlds. It reminds the public of the exact reasons why people became obsessed with them in the first place. The image of the pop star screaming from the luxury box at Arrowhead Stadium and the football player shouting into microphones at Super Bowl parades. It takes the terrifying, larger-than-life scale of their fame and shrinks it down to something an audience can actually understand: two people getting slightly too loud at a karaoke machine. This entire weekend has fundamentally cemented their positions at the absolute peak of modern celebrity status, showcasing a complete evolution in how high-profile figures handle their private lives. In the past, a wedding of this magnitude would have either been sold to a major magazine for millions of dollars or completely hidden away in a remote destination under a total news blackout. Instead, Swift and Kelce chose a third path, occupying one of the most visible landmarks in the center of the world's media capital, shutting down the surrounding streets, letting the city celebrate them externally while keeping the actual human experience completely locked away for themselves. It is a brilliant inversion of privacy. They gave the public the spectacle, the jumbotrons, the lights, the guest lists filled with icons like Paul McCartney and Stevie Nicks, but kept the actual emotional core, the rock songs and the raw vows, completely inside the room. This approach doesn't just protect their personal sanity, it elevates their collective brand to a level of near mythological status, ensuring that their relationship is viewed not just as a tabloid fixture, but as a major historical event in modern American entertainment. As the dust begins to settle on Madison Square Garden, and the couple moves past the immediate frenzy of their wedding weekend, the entertainment industry is left looking at a completely rewritten playbook for celebrity culture. The leaked stories of their private rock duet and the sheer, absurd scale of their arena-sized secret garden will undoubtedly influence how the next generation of mega-influencers and athletes approach their own public milestones. By successfully executing a multi-million-dollar stadium wedding that somehow still felt intensely personal to their closest friends, Taylor and Travis have proven that in the modern attention economy, the ultimate luxury isn't just wealth, it is the absolute control over your own narrative. Whether this rock performance remains a legendary piece of unreleased lore or eventually finds its way into a future career-spanning documentary is something only the couple can decide, leaving the rest of the cultural landscape to simply watch from the outside, staring at the giant screens outside the arena, waiting to see what happens when the music finally stops and the house lights come up.